In this episode of Latitudes, we take a spectacular diving adventure on Marble Island. Discover the hidden secrets of ancient Egyptian mummies and artefacts. Resurrect the splendour of Havana's historic district. And enjoy the beauty of Australia's magical Great Barrier Reef. We commence this diving adventure off Marble Island, off the coast of Borneo in Malaysia. Marble Island is a small 20-hectare oval-shaped island ringed with sandy beaches. The island has a resident fishing community and is covered in coconut plantations. Now, however, the friendliness of the native people and the pristine environment are creating a new industry. Borneo Divers Marble Dive Resort occupies a beautiful stretch of white sandy beach, with classical tropical views in every direction. Access to the resort, and for both shore and boat diving, is provided from the short pier or directly from the beach. The resort has 30 units, each with twin beds and private veranda overlooking the beach, and the Borneo mainland in the distance. All rooms overlook the perfect scenes of the island foreshore and crystal seas to the horizon. The resort dining facilities serves a wide-ranging cuisine from Chinese, Japanese and Korean to international buffet-style dining with seafood, meat, chicken or beef. Even an excellent selection of vegetarian dishes is available. The resort also provides a conference room with capacity for 100 guests. Just imagine your business or club meetings in these surrounds. The lounges and beachfront sunset bar are perfect when it's time for a lemonade or to watch over the recreational and sports facilities. Of course, the full-service dive centre also has a professional underwater video and film service available. Here, all dives can be organised, even to Cipadan Island, just a short boat ride away. Internationally recognised diving courses with qualified instructors can be arranged during your stay at the resort. The island also houses a hyperbaric recompression chamber system for any diving emergency cases in the region. This spectacular setting makes for some lifelong memories, not only for its outstanding scuba diving, but also with activities and sites for non-diving guests as well. The waters are calm and warm, visibility is always outstanding, and the quantity and variety of marine life is astounding. The local dive sites are serviced in the resort's fast open boats, and numbers are kept low to make sure of the guests' enjoyment. Though small and mostly bottom dwellers, many of Marble's sea creatures are unique, stunningly colourful, often rare and sometimes bizarre. The astonishing thing is that most of these creatures can be found on the house reef right in front of the resort. On an average day of diving at Cipadan, you would expect to see at least 50 green turtles, seemingly lazing away their days, drifting up and down the reef area. A dozen friendly reef sharks gracefully cruise the reef edge or venture into the shallows searching for an easy meal. Large schools of barracuda, Jack's fusiliers and batfish. These schooling pelagics are one of the trademarks of the Indo-Pacific and are always to be seen in the area. Directly in front of the resort, a mere 15 metres from the beach, is a vertical wall starting at a depth of 3 metres and plunging down 600 metres. Marble's forte lies in the tiny rare creatures that can be found in the sand, rubble and fringing coral reef near the island. This is sometimes called muck diving because of the fine silt bottom. You can see dozens of species of cuttlefish, ghost pipefish, seahorses, shrimps, crabs, eels and fishes. Many of these exotic species are to be seen nowhere else. If you're an underwater photographer or videographer, Marble offers amazing opportunities for macro photos and video. The antics of ornate cuttlefish, blue-ringed octopus and camouflage seahorses are just a few of the numerous types of models waiting for discovery. Tiny juvenile crocodile fish and stunningly colourful mandarin fish are everywhere. Mandarin fish tend to come out into the open in the late afternoon. Many types of gobies can be found, including the spike-finned goby, black sail-fin goby and metallic shrimp goby. The juvenile cephalopods soon become everyone's favourite though. For those with a preference for the larger denizens, the schools of jacks never cease to mesmerise with their swirling, shimmering movements. The schools almost seem to take on a fluid appearance if you watch them long enough. Marble's only wall dive, Lobster Wall, is a hanging garden of colourful soft corals and a good place to see the huge schools of barracuda. The fish will often bawl in the open water or swarm around a diver in an experience that is never forgotten. There's even the opportunity for a little romance during your dive. The dives are always over too soon, though the turtles are the perfect way to end an enchanting diving experience on Marble Island, which is certainly one of the best scuba diving destinations in the world, and a place where the fondest of memories are made. New technology has given a fresh lease of life to the study of an ancient Egyptian mummy in the British Museum. Nesperinab from Karnak is one of around 100 mummies in the British Museum, one of the leading collections of Egyptology in the world. He lived 2,800 years ago and was a high priest in a society that laid great emphasis on preparation for the afterlife. Only now can researchers and historians discover the full truth about his life. Using the special SGI hardware and also some specially developed software, scientists can actually examine the data set and start to remove different parts of the mummy, but everything's done virtually. Taking the X-ray, such as used for medical scans, and subjecting it to radically new computer analysis leaves the mummy and coffin physically intact. The new technology tells us that Nesperanab died in his early 40s, a long life when expectancy was 35. His father is also in the museum, so there's ample potential for learning still more, courtesy of another mummy of the Nesperanab family. The technology is a landmark in the study of the ancient world, offering a three-dimensional insight. Small but significant facts have emerged, such as Nesperanab suffering a bad tooth. Also, that the embalmers made a mistake, allowing one of their cups to stick to the corpse's head overnight. Covering up their handiwork on such a prestigious client, they leave a very human touch to an autopsy by virtual reality. Another compelling exhibition of animal antiquities from Egypt has opened in London. The figurines date from 3500 BC to the 1st century AD and show the importance of such items to the ancient Egyptian culture. Over 100 animal antiquities have been brought together for the exhibition. They're some of the finest pieces of Egyptian art ever seen outside of Egypt. Amongst the items are many cats revered by the ancient Egyptians as deities and considered earthly manifestations of a god or a goddess. The female cat was an animal manifestation associated with Bastet, an ancient god worshipped in the Nile Delta. Elsewhere, there are birds and other animals which were revered by the Egyptian culture of the period. They saw them as equals and manifestations of deities in themselves. The figurines range from large items ornately carved and sculpted to tiny items delicately designed to the very highest standards. Now they're attracting the interest of a new generation of collectors. Historic treasures are also being resurrected in Cuba. The splendour of Havana's historic district, Old Havana, is being restored through a monumental renovation project that has attracted international attention. Known for its wrought iron fences, cobblestone streets and quaint balconies, Old Havana has long been a favourite tourist destination. But in a country that has seen some very difficult economic times, the buildings were not only shabby, but some were starting to crumble. Enter city historian Eusebio Leal. With the full support of the Cuban government, Leal took the helm of Old Havana's rebirth with gusto. Leal, a former top communist official, shares his vision of restoration and revitalisation as utopia, a life space, as a place for the spirit, restoration as a cult of beauty. The 61-year-old has been successful in garnering foreign investors to back most of the individual restoration projects. Slowly but surely, residents have been moved out of the magnificent historic buildings, and crews of architects, geologists, archaeologists and craftsmen have gone to work. The goal of Old Havana's restoration has been both historical and financial. In an effort to attract greater tourism, more residents are being relocated permanently, and the renovated buildings are being transformed into shops, restaurants and hotels. Cuba's Old Havana was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1982. one of the many delightful historic destinations available for travellers. Australia's magical Great Barrier Reef is one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. We discover its beauty by taking a trip on the Nimrod Explorer. This 18-passenger liveaboard vessel offers travellers the opportunity to explore the Great Barrier Reef without the crowded accommodation on larger liveaboard dive vessels in the area. A twin-engine powered catamaran, the vessel is spacious and very stable, and offers amenities normally seen on much larger boats. Guests are accommodated in 3 large double and 3 spacious quadruple cabins, each of which has ensuite facilities and plenty of storage. For longer trips, 2 of the 3 quadruple staterooms can be converted to spacious double staterooms. The nicely appointed main salon offers dining and relaxation areas, as well as a well-equipped entertainment centre and bar area. The large shaded top deck offers an open-air respite from the sun, while the expansive bow serves as a welcome warm-up between dives. It's also a great place to enjoy beautiful sunsets over the Coral Sea. Dives are conducted daily, direct from the expansive aft dive deck, with entries made directly off the twin dive platforms into the water. The vessel is well stocked with quality diving gear for each guest. Packing for a liveaboard trip in tropical North Queensland doesn't require much more than shorts, t-shirts and swimsuits. The northern section of the Great Barrier Reef, situated off the eastern coast of Queensland, offers one of the most exciting dive experiences in the world. The world's largest living structure, the reef's many remote locations contain a magic all their own. The Great Barrier Reef is perhaps one of the most important gifts Australia has given the world, by nominating it as a World Heritage Possession. The reef has more than 1,500 species of fish and more than 350 different species of corals. The average diving depth along the Great Barrier Reef is approximately 18 to 20 metres. The water temperature varies year-round, and there is no best time of year for diving on the Great Barrier Reef. Each month sees different action, from manta rays during February, March and April to the world-renowned dwarf minke whales in June and July, sometimes humpback whales during August, and coral spawning in November. The Nimrod Explorer spends much of its time between Cairns and Lizard Island, exploring the sites along the Ribbon Reefs and introducing guests to the world-famous Cod Hole. This site, often described as one of the best dive spots on the Great Barrier Reef, is known for its resident family of huge potato cod, which enjoy protected status in the area and have made this small section of the reef their home. They range in size from 50 to 120 pounds. The diving depth at the Cod Hole varies from 10 to 20 metres on a sloping bottom dotted with high-profile coral heads. Dynamite Pass is a narrow channel 1 mile north of Cod Hole. The channel is approximately 100 metres wide and 30 metres deep in the centre. The sides rise vertically to within a metre of the surface. This site is usually explored as a drift dive, which can last 30 to 40 minutes. The sides of the channel are loaded with soft corals, hard corals and sea fans. It's just one of the many passes in between the reefs where the ocean currents forced through the opening, bringing rich nutrients to feed the abundant coral formations and marine animals, resulting in a greater concentration of reef life. Sharks and mantas are commonly seen cruising with the currents and make this site an exceptional drift dive. The ribbon reefs offer a variety of diving. The best sites are often found around the small coral bommies, away from the main section of the reef. The closer the bommie is to the pass in the reef, the richer the marine life will be. Pixie Pinnacle is one such place and has been described as the ultimate underwater fairy garden. Nestled in a pass between two large reefs, this spot is a favourite. Aboard the Nimrod Explorer, evening meals usually consist of lots of fresh vegetables, rice, pasta, chicken, beef, pork and fish. Breakfast is the usual fare of eggs, bacon, cereal and toast. Lunches vary from soup and sandwiches to burgers, pasta, assorted salads and quiche. All meals are served in the main saloon. The Great Barrier Reef offers a huge diversity of marine life, which present fantastic photo opportunities. It's a fun experience for all. Join Latitudes again when we next trek the globe and explore fabulous and exciting holiday destinations. For further information regarding any story on this episode, log on to www.pbtv.com.au. This program is proudly supported by PATA and Always Dive Australia.